Hey guys, welcome to Little Black But Another One. It's your favorite dating and relationship coach. Yes, we're talking to you guys about Muni Long and her separation actually from her long-standing husband of 9 years. Seems like everybody's trying to get divorced these days, but there is information I believe that's going to help us understand what happened here. There is a big problem here, and that's the cause of this particular breakup and seemingly separation that potentially could end up in divorce. The big problem that we have here is that she described that she felt like she was waking up angry every single day, and she felt also like it was time to. She felt like also she didn't want to put her life on hold, okay, for her husband to catch up in the sense of he was not with the program. Now, before you jump to any particular conclusions and go, see, men are jealous of their women. When their women get successful, the men, they know how to handle things. Just remember that I did a video about Judge Mathis and him choosing his career over his wife. A lot of these situations are about how people feel and what priorities they feel that people are either meeting or not meeting or correctly putting it in order. So before you jump down the throat and come down the section, be like, oh my God, this is exactly what we talk about. Men don't support their women when they become career orientated. Just remember, if a man was to say to you that, you know what, I'm going to leave my wife behind because, she doesn't seem to be on board with the fact that I'm heading in my career, I think we'd all have a problem with that. I think we look at it a bit and be like, whoa, sir, you've got a wife. You've got a family to look after. Well, she's got a husband and she's got a family to look after as well. And so we got to find a balance. But we're going to break it down because we're going to read her statement and see what she said. So if you're new to the channel, do me a massive favor. Make sure you're liking, you're sharing, and you are subscribing to the channel. Don't forget, we also do coaching as well, but my books are closed at the moment. I'm 3 months in and I've got a backlog of clients I'm trying to get through, and there's no way I can do any more. What I have got, though, is spaces for emergency clients. So, or I should say queue jump. If you want a queue jump, it's going to cost you a lot more, but we're getting a lot of work done as well. There's still space in that particular department that I've reserved. So if you are in need of coaching, there is those reserved spots for queue jumping. It does cost you a little bit more, but trust me, the work and the stuff that we do, it's worth it, okay, as well. Let's get into this video because I want to break it all the way down. I want to be able to give you guys some insight into what actually happened between Muni Long and her husband, and hopefully you'll be able to understand where I'm coming from, and also you should be able to get some tips as well about how to make sure that your relationship doesn't follow the same route. Yeah, because you don't want to be that. You don't want it to be the same thing for you. You want a different result, right? You want to see it deeper. Okay, so Muni Long has called it quits from her husband, Rayshawn Hairston, after 9 years of marriage, okay? The Hours and Hours singer made a revelation while discussing her new album, Revenge, on Real 92.3, admitting the song Ruined Me was deeply personal as it was inspired by the challenges in her marriage, okay? So there's some deeper issues here. The song Ruined Me, okay? And there's some challenges within her marriage. She goes on to say, it is no secret I've been married for 9 years. It just didn't work out, She then opened up about what led her marriage running its course, reflecting that she needed space from her partner's negativity. So this is a big issue for her. It was negativity that was an issue in the relationship, okay? She said, I don't have time for nonsense. This is one of the most amazing times in my life. And if you can't celebrate that with me, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to have to leave you behind. I cannot, she emphasized. Now, this is given jealousy. This is given that he wasn't supportive. This is given that he wasn't backing her in her time of need of when she had reached a pinnacle in her career and she's really knocking down some doors and it feels like he's not really supporting her. Listen some more. The decision wasn't an easy one as a Grammy winner acknowledged that Rayshawn was the love of her life at one point and probably could be good for her if he got it together. But I'm not willing to put my life, my passion, and my happiness on hold for you to catch up. Unfortunately, you might get it in a year, but I'm sorry, I'm probably already over it, she declared. Now, here's my thing. Before we jump, it is looking very clear-cut. Before you jump, I want to make something very clear. Men and women operate in very different ways, okay? I would be happy to admit and accept that potentially he is jealous of her success or feels some type of way about her success. If this role was flipped and a man came out and said, I felt like my wife wasn't really supporting me and supporting the things I was actually doing, right? And didn't support what I was trying to do. I think a lot of people would feel like, well, is he not loving her enough? Is he not protecting, providing? Dude, they would start questioning the man as to what he isn't necessarily doing. And the reason why we do that is because we believe that actually, really and truly, most people believe that men are the orchestrator and leaders of a relationship. And they also want to blame men when it goes wrong. Fine. But if they are the fault reason as why a relationship goes wrong, they must also be the leaders of relationships, meaning that you should follow his role and his leadership. Because he can't be responsible for the fault of the relationship and also not be the leader. Like, don't make no sense. The reason why you're at fault for a whole of the relationship going the way it does is because you're a leader. That's neither here or there. What I want to focus on is that there is a key issue here, but I want to balance it out a little bit. The key issue here is that he has not been supportive in a time of need. This is a big problem. Whenever, and so it's so funny because I had a conversation with a woman on a plane a couple of years ago in America. It changed my mind and blew my mind. A white lady, amazing. She'd been married to a guy who's very obviously well in his career, and she's also very highly driven in her career. And she told me about something like this. She said, look, there was a moment where she got a promotion and her husband didn't seem very happy for her. Okay. And he seemed like he wasn't really interested, that wasn't really celebrating her. And she felt so isolated, alone. She felt down. She felt like, how come, I'm celebrating your wins, but you're not celebrating my wins? It almost felt like it was competitive, right? And she had to ask him the question, why? So I'm going to put that aside. Just hold that story in your mind. We're going to come back to it. Let's deal with the actual thing in front of us. What she said was that it was inspired, the song was inspired by her marriage issues. And the reason why was because, apologies, there was some negativity. Whenever you're in a relationship and someone is having their wins, this is not the time to now start being negative. We actually have to support our partner. And the reason why that can happen is another story. We're going to deal with that a little bit later on. But the real aspect is this: that negativity makes the other person feel like they have an enemy in their camp, not somebody who's on their side. You've gone from being the person who would uplift them and brighten their day and give them sustenance for the next few years or months, whatever, and you've turned into the enemy now, because now you're looking at it from a situation where I come and tell you news and you tell me this is negative. You validate my feelings. Well, actually what you do is that you combat my feelings, which is making me feel like I'm crazy and I'm mad. It makes me feel like you are not supportive of me and that you don't actually care necessarily or even love me the way you should. Okay, so that's really important. Okay. Then she went on to say, I don't have time for nonsense. This is one of the most amazing times of my life. And if you can't celebrate with me, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to have to leave you behind. I cannot. Right. So what she believes is that because it's a critical time in her life, what she needs is support. Okay. What she needs is a partner to get behind her and just keep on pushing her and encouraging her. Okay. If you're not doing that, it does look like you're now becoming a brick wall, and it does look like you're becoming an EOP. It does look like you're becoming somebody who doesn't want to doesn't want to seem like a hater, and now I'm sleeping next to the devil. And so this is never going to work long term, because you are now becoming the very thing the Bible says do not give a foothold to, which is the devil's no longer outside, the devil's inside a home. Right? She said the decision wasn't easy, okay, all right, because he was the love of her life at one point. So we've gone from love of our life at one point to now suddenly, you're an enemy of my life. And she said, I'm not willing to put my life, my passion, and my happiness on hold for you to catch up. Unfortunately, you might get it in a year. So I get it, and I'll do a video with both Judge Mathis and Muni Long together to do the side by side. And the reality of the situation is, what she's really saying is, you're making me hold back based upon whatever you feel like, whatever you have in your head, whatever you see me as, you are holding me back. And now you see my name, growing up, and I'm growing, and I'm now hitting the dream that I wanted to hit. You are now becoming an obstacle, which I never foresaw was going to be an obstacle. And so now I have a decision to make. I can continue and have you as a thorn in my side, or I can remove you and continue onwards on this journey alone. Right? And she chose to go on her own. Now, the reality of the situation is, and now it's going to come back to my story that I said earlier on. The reality of the situation is this: there are times where in a relationship, you are going to have to, as a man, take a back seat to your wife's dreams. It happens. When you have somebody who's also dream orientated, or has their own goals, or has their own vision, has their own career, wants to go and do X, Y, and Z, right? Then this is very important. You have to be able to be open to that. The flip side of this is that there has to be a conversation also about what it means to you. This is actually part of my solutions. When I was talking to the lady in question, and she was sharing to me saying, she asked her husband, why is it you feel the way you do? And what he said was this. He was happy for her, but he started thinking that if she takes this promotion, what that would mean is that she would have to be away from the house more. He would have to pick up more of the home life. It would also mean they would have to spend less time together. He felt like that by her taking the promotion, it would cause more separation for them. He felt like she was pulling away from him by taking the promotion. Do you see how that conversation, if it's not asked why and not had, how people can sit in a place and be like, I'm feeling these things, but I'm not able to say it, right? One, it needs a person who's also feeling some type of way, which is a husband, to be honest about his feelings. What does he really feel? Like, is it about her career, or is it what meaning you're applying to the career? And I'll do solutions in part 2 video. Is it the meaning you're applying to the career? Because if you're applying a meaning to it, then you must explain what meaning you're applying to the action so that she understands. Because the reason why people are going to break up is because there's a lack of empathy, because I do not understand your thought process. So if I don't understand your thought process or understand why you do what you do, I'm going to have less empathy. So he needs to be honest, and she needs to be honest, and he needs to explain why her career maybe feels threatening for him. And he shouldn't lie about it and be like, I'm not threatened. Listen, the moment we start acting like a hard man, you lose your relationship. We're 9 years deep, we've lost the relationship. Acting like a hard man don't get you no relationship. What we need is for you to be vulnerable, and we need you to be honest about what's on your mind. Because in that space, there is freedom. The truth in releasing in releasing some of these truths releases you from the burden of feeling like you're closed in and imprisoned. The Bible says the truth shall set you free. And in this case, I promise you, it will work that way. So he needs to be honest about her career. Look, I want to see you win, but I won't lie to you. The more you're climbing up, the more I feel like you're pulling away from me. Or the more I feel like, the more you're spending time away, the more neglected I feel. And it's how I feel. Not that you're actually doing it, but it's how I feel. Your actions that you're doing, I'm interpreting it and it's making me feel. That's what we need to be having a discussion over. Right? So yeah, I'm gonna do it part 2, and I'll drop the solutions for you guys, because I really want you guys to be able to learn and grow and be able to negotiate, because there also needs to be negotiation as well within that space. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, and you click on that bell button. Don't forget, I am coaching still. Also, make sure you join our 100 Club. We can talk about these stuff. We'll talk about Judge Mathis. We're going to talk about, the Cam Newton and the Nick Cannon situation. We're going to talk about it offline in our 100 Club again. Next one's on the 5th September as well. So if you haven't joined already, go and join. It's going to be a wonderful night. A couple of hours we spend together. We vibe, we talk offline. It's going to be vibes. Trust me, we're going to enjoy ourselves. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Click on that bell button for notification uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay